Jim Farley, Ford CEO, promises to lay out the entire picture of the company under his leadership. The company will transition to electric vehicles under his leadership, he promises. Ford shares have gained 60% in the first 4 months of Farley's tenure as CEO. The legendary American automobile manufacturer's CEO, Jim Farley, has promised Wall Street what it has demanded for years: a clear and decisive plan for the transition to electric vehicles. During the next few months, Farley said he would lay out Ford's entire plan. Meanwhile, he continues to make progress on restructuring efforts in business deals, like a Google partnership announced earlier this week for cloud services and in-car infotainment. Farley told CNBC that 2021 is the year of action for the company. "We're executing our plan, and we'll continue to do that, so every business in our portfolio has a sustainable future. If not, we will restructure it." As Ford's second-in-command, Farley contributed to designing Ford's $11 billion restructuring plan launched under his predecessor in 2018. The measures taken so far cutting 14,000 global jobs, overhauling global operations, and ceasing vehicle production in Brazil. However, more than Ford's plans for electric vehicles are needed for Wall Street. A new electric vehicle vision and restructuring at General Motors, the company's most significant crosstown rival, have earned praise. Since she took over GM in 2014, Mary Barra has been steadily removing the automaker from unprofitable markets. Australia, Russia, and Europe were among the markets that GM exited. As part of its plan to refocus on emerging technologies, such as electric and autonomous vehicles, GM restructured its North American operations in 2018, including job cuts and plant closures. In a $27 billion investment plan in electric and autonomous vehicles, General Motors has promised 30 new EVs by 2025. By 2035, the company plans to stop making gas-powered vehicles. Farley described hybrid and plug-in hybrid vehicles as transitional technologies for Ford, which is currently assessing overseas markets and investing $11.5 billion in electrified vehicles through 2022. "I don't have any regrets about that decision, but if you're asking about the future and being specific about the future on what our mix is going to be and how it's going to change, yes, our mix is changing to pure battery electric," Farley said. "I'm not going to go into details today. Stay tuned." Share prices of the companies have reflected the difference. Ford stock has declined 10.3% to $11.20 since 2018, while GM's has risen 32.4% to $54.25 a share since 2018. That gives GM a market value of $77.6 billion, almost double Ford's $43.8 billion. Ford currently offers only the Mustang Mach-E as its only electric vehicle in the United States. However, it has announced plans to electrify some of its most well-known nameplates, including the F-150 EV and Transit van. By the end of this year, GM expects to launch at least 3 additional vehicles, including a commercial van in the U.S. Furthermore, Farley has been working on introducing a range of new products this summer, including the Mach-E and the highly anticipated Bronco SUV, with no significant problems. Some previous launches could have gone better, resulting in substantial warranty costs for the automaker. "The team is doing a better job launching, the financial performance is more reliable, and we're getting serious about restructuring where we need to. Those are all great things," Farley said, "but that's the beginning. The most important transformation of Ford is the modernization and disruption of our company, and the different things." Farley is off to a great start so far. Through his first 4 months as CEO, Ford's stock recovered 60% due to optimism about his leadership and restructuring efforts. Ford's stock fell by more than 60% during the tenure of its last 2 CEOs from July 2014 to October 2020. Analyst Dan Levy has referred to automakers' struggle between investing in their profitable core businesses and emerging, yet unprofitable, new technologies as near and far clocks. Investing in Ford requires both of these to be done on time for it to succeed. Recent years have seen Ford's clocks out of sync in many ways. The company had a primary car lineup and outdated SUVs as the industry transitioned to utility vehicles, and its global restructuring lagged GM, which gave it an edge with investors. "We see GM as better positioned in a transition to EV, better balancing of the 2 clocks, while for Ford, conversely, we see more challenges ahead in the transition to EV," Levy wrote in a note to investors Tuesday. That said, both companies should be beneficiaries of a solid cycle environment, with Ford offering an opportunity as new CEO Jim Farley lays out a new agenda. 2 months after his last downgrade of Ford, Morgan Stanley analyst Adam Jonas downgraded it to underweight last week. GM has more significant potential than Ford to successfully shift to electric vehicles from vehicles powered by internal combustion engines, or ICEs. We firmly believe that with successful execution, Ford can benefit from many of the same drivers of upside that we currently reflect in our GM price target. He wrote in a note to investors, "We believe Ford CEO Jim Farley has an opportunity to leverage Ford's strengths in EV manufacturing while mitigating the risks of ICE exposure in the years to come." Jonas said the recently released Mach-E is an excellent example of the company's EV tech, but the path to scale is where we would like to see greater proof points. "We can be incredibly profitable," said Farley, "a profitability that the company's never seen in our history, just in the traditional auto business," he said, "and then to modernize and disrupt the company. I'm not going to come out of the chute and explain all that in the first 3 months as CEO. That's not a smart thing to do." Ford's announcement earlier this week with Google received well from Wall Street, sending the stock price up 8.6% during intraday trading Monday. According to Morgan Stanley, the automaker could generate $5 billion in profit and $9 billion in revenue from the tie-up. Many criticized Farley's predecessor, Jim Hackett, for lack of urgency and transparency with investors and overly philosophical goals within the company. Farley, an intense, direct, and driven individual, intends to avoid those things. "We've been busy redoing things, now we're accelerating them," he said. The company appreciates a clear plan. They don't like ambiguity. By the third quarter of last year, Ford was less than halfway through its $11 billion restructuring plan, originally announced as a 5-year plan. Earlier this month, the company announced it ended manufacturing in Brazil, resulting in pre-tax charges of $4.1 billion, including $2.5 billion in cash. A report on Ford's fourth quarter and year-end earnings will be released Thursday after the market closes. According to Refinitiv, 15 analysts predict the company will post a fourth quarter loss of 7 cents per share and $33.89 billion in revenue, a 7.6% decrease. "I'm proud of the team. I love our new team. I love our plan, and I can't wait for our team to perform financially so that we can fund this growth and even literally disrupt ourselves," Farley said. "I also can't wait to explain kind of the whole thing. It takes a little time, but 2021 is the year." A major key to winning the ongoing EV wars is finding the right price point. There are already 100,000 reservations for Ford Motor Company's all-new 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning, which starts under $40,000. But Ford plans to have that price, producing a $20,000 electric vehicle as soon as possible. Finally, after discussing all these things, we're in a position where we can imagine EV success in 2023 with incredible vehicle production. Surely everyone would be looking forward to the company's exceptional technology. I hope you liked this video. If yes, do remember to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned, as we will come up with many new and more informative videos. Till then, take care of yourself. Goodbye.